Yeah, good morning, guys. Today we discussed about set operations, which are union, intersect, and except in DBMS. So, before discussing about these set operations, first of all, what are the basic forms of SQL queries in DBMS? The basic forms of an SQL query, specifically when retrieving data, is composed of a combination of clauses. Because sometimes we retrieve the data. The SQL query is indicating, especially we are using select clause or select command. So while we retrieve the data, may be required single column, multiple columns, or the entire table. Sometimes we may get the data based on the condition, means we required appropriate rows only. So, like if you require the entire column, group of the columns, entire table, or within the table only few data we require. According to that, the user requirement, he has to send the query. So generally we are writing the query, select distinct column 1, column 2 and so on from table name, where condition. Why we use distinct command? Distinct is indicating it accepts only the unique values, or it eliminates the duplicate values. So in that select clause, this is where you specify the columns you want to retrieve. Sometimes if you require the entire table, means all the columns, then simply you are using star symbol to retrieve the all columns data. Then you retrieve the data from the table. So that is the reason you are writing the command called from clause. This specifies from which table or tables you want to retrieve the data. So already I told, if you require only the entire column data or group of the columns data or the entire table data, then there is no need to write the where clause. But if you specify the required rows of the data, then you must write it as the where clause. So in this case, this where is optional. Based on the user requirement, he has to write where statement. So the where clause allows you to filter the results based on a user query or user condition. So there are the few primary components are there for the SQL queries. Those are called as select, from, where, group by, having, order by, and join. So already we discussed about select, from, and where. Then where we are using group by, if the user required groups rows that have the same values in specified columns. For example, if you consider like this, customer table and sales table, then in both are having the same rows of the data or same values which are having the specified columns, then we are using group by. In that group of the data, if you filter the data again, then we are using the class having. If we require to get the data in sorting order, then we are using ordered by. That is your wish. The user required to sort the data in ascending order or descending order. Again, according to that, we will give that the command. And join, we know, while we combined two or more tables based on the related columns, then we are using the join class. Now we discussed about the union, because these are the set operations already I discussed. There are the three set operations we discussed about: union, intersect, and except. That except is also called as minus. So coming to the union in DBMS, the union operator in DBMS is used to combine the result sets of two or more select statements, because the union operator is used to combine two or more tables. In that case, we are using the union command. So it is selecting the distinct values from these two tables, and it eliminates duplicate values. The syntax is like select column name or names from table 1, union, select column names from table 2. So here just discussed about the examples like customers and suppliers. These are the two tables and having the same column name called city. Then we retrieve the city name from these two tables. Simply write it as select city from customers, union select city from suppliers. In the two tables, is there any common value is there or duplicate value is there? It will be eliminated while using the union. If you require to take that the duplicate value also, then simply are using union all. Okay. Then coming to the intersect. Intersect is indicating it combines or it returns what the common records are there in both tables. It will be retrieving the common records from both tables. While we require, then simply are using the intersect. The intersect operator in a DBMS is used to combine two select statements and return only the records that are common to both. This common syntax is called select column names from table 1, intersect select column names from table 2. Same what we discussed about the previous example, like now we are using like a order table and deliverables table. In both are having the same column name called order ID. Then select order ID from orders, intersect select order ID from deliveries. In both tables are what are the common data is there from order ID, it retrieves that data only by using intersect. And finally, except in DBMS. The except operator in a DBMS is used to return the difference between two select statements. Means it returns the records from the first select statement that are not present in the second select statement. So in this select column or column names from table 1, except, or you may using like this minus also. Select column names from table 2. Same what you discussed here previously, like what are the common statements which are having by using the intersection. Same thing, like in this case we are considered only from the orders table what the data it is available, and that data is not present in deliveries table. Then simply you are using the command except. Got my point, guys? So these three are called as the set operations: union, intersect, and except.